I almost didn't have time to make this video about time. So, I've been thinking a lot about time lately. And as you know, because, for those of you new, I had quit my job because I want more time. I want more time with my girlfriend. I want time to, I want time with my friends. I want time to do the things that I, feel passionate about, things I enjoy doing. Because, as a truck driver, a great deal of my time was sitting behind the wheel. I notice I'm sitting behind the wheel now, but I don't have to sit here. I'm sitting here because I want to. Well, I'm sitting here because I have to, but I don't mind it as much because I can literally stop sitting here whenever the fuck I feel like it, and I can go wherever I want. Leaving all that aside, I just want to make a video to kind of describe my thought process and what led me to quitting trucking, even if it may be temporary, I don't know. But quitting it long enough to reclaim some more of that valuable resource. You see, you have one resource, and it's a resource everybody wants. Hell, I want that resource from you. I want you to spend time watching my videos, and hopefully it gives you something in return, whether it's entertainment, or maybe I thought of something you didn't think of that might improve your life. I don't fucking know. I'm not an expert. But that being said, I'm asking for your time. And any YouTuber that makes a video is asking for your time. Corporations. Google wants your time. They want you to click on whatever videos. They'll feed you AI slop if that'll make you happy, as long as you give them your time. Unlike our fiat currency or even crypto, time continuously goes up in value. As in, the older you get, the more valuable your time is. And if you waste a lot of time, you'll get to a point in your life where you'll regret that. There are a lot of people I've lost in my life. Some very young, some old, some in between, some middle-aged. We never know when we're going to fucking die. I joke with my girlfriend all the time. I'm like, I only got about 12 years left to live because the average age of the truck driver is 62. So I told her I got to make it count. If you do what society wants you to do, which is work until age 67, not 65 anymore. They upped it to 67 so that you don't bankrupt Social Security. That being said, if you do what they tell you to do, they're going to use up all your best years, all your healthy years, all the years that, basically they take your health, they take your productivity, and then when you get too old to be productive for them, then they throw you out and give you maybe a bowl of Alpo to eat. And if you didn't take the time to invest in things that don't require time, as in multiply your money, investments and whatnot. So that's one of my biggest regrets is I didn't invest early, early in my life. anytime I built up a 401k, it was a couple years before some shit happened and I, quit a job or changed jobs, and I was like, you know what, I'll just take that money. Not that the 401k is, the best investment option. A lot of people have lost a lot of money in the 401k here and there. But overall, you do you. I'm not a financial advisor. I will say, though, that if I knew in my 20s what I knew now, I would have more time because I wouldn't have to give my time or trade my time for money, which is what any 9 to 5-ish corporate job is going to do. Now, I get a lot of suggestions as I am out here swimming with no fucking life vest on in this ocean of inflation and bullshit that we wade through with the high cost of living, the high cost for rent, the high cost for housing, the high cost for food, the high cost for fuel. Everything costs a fucking fortune, which means they want more of your time. Corporations want you to go and work for give them as much of your time for as little money as they can get away with giving you. And then they want you to go home and then give all the rest of your time back in consuming their products or services. And that is the way our economy is set up. Like it or not, that's what capitalism really is all about. Some people want socialism, but being that I don't like talking politics anymore, we won't get into that, but, let's just say I'm a libertarian. We'll just leave it at that. That being said, you got to look at it. What are you getting for your time? If you're putting in a 70-hour work week and you fucking hate it. Now, I'm leaving out all the people that are happy. And I feel like if you have to justify to me in the comments how happy you are, you might be just trying to convince yourself that you're happy. With your 9 to 5 or your, 70-hour work week or what have you. But there's a lot of us that aren't. And there's a whole generation, Gen Z, for example, from what I can tell, don't want to work the traditional 9 to 5. But I get a lot of suggestions on certain jobs I should get, whether it's delivering pizzas, whether it's getting in a better trucking company and getting paid more for my 70 hours, but that's the thing. My 70-hour value to me has gone up because I don't know when I'm going to fucking die. I don't know when my health's going to fail. I don't know how many more years I have. So to me, 25 to 30 an hour is not enough. I'm more like I want 50 an hour. If you want me to give you my time, you're going to give me $50 an hour. Unless it's something I'm enjoying or I'm finding fulfillment in. Hence this channel. I give you guys all kinds of time. And I have yet to really, I'm still in the loss on what I spend to run my channel versus what I make. That hopefully changes soon. I'm, with YouTube finally gonna, give me commercials again. But, that being said, I don't, it's a trade-off. If you're miserable in your 9 to 5, if you're miserable working in a 70-hour work week, I feel like you're going to have regret. I know I do for all the years I've put in. 21 years as a truck driver. Granted, I've reclaimed now 4.5, 5 years, I think 5 years of retirement time. Now, by retirement, I'm still working. I'm still doing things to make money, but it's on my terms and it's, for my benefit. But I have full control of my time, which I do right now. That to me is worth more than the $30 an hour. To me, having full control of my time, as in I don't have to work if I don't want to, or I don't, if I have a rough day, I can stop early. I can be like, okay, well, this day can go fuck itself, and then I go home. These are all things I'm looking at that if I were to get a part-time job or anything like that, then I get locked into a schedule. Then they're taking my time. That's time when I have to allot that time to them. If somebody calls me and wants to hang out, can't do it. My girlfriend wants me to go to Canada, spend some time, can't do it. I got a schedule, and they're not that let's be honest, none of those jobs pay me enough for that. And let's face it, $50 an hour would be the new 30, from 5 years ago. So, and that's the thing with the job. It's a dead end. The only way for me to get a raise is to bounce from truck to truck, and that's only when the economy is great, which it's not right now. So there's not a lot of hiring bonuses going on in the trucking industry. That'll change if the economy booms. But, and even in the gig economy, I can tell how the economy is doing based on how many gigs I get or how much per mile I get for those. Right now, I'm struggling to get to the $1 a mile mark. But going back to why it's valuable, why your time is valuable, I want you to think about something, especially if you've lost someone or, maybe you're on death's door. I don't know. What do you think the number one regret on your deathbed is going to be? Is it going to be how big your house was? Is it going to be, how many cars you have? Is it going to be how much shit you have? Or is it going to be, I wish I had more time? And I've seen people pass away who regret the time that they wasted. And we all waste time. I'm definitely not, above anyone in the not wasting time category. But at the end of the day, if I were to be in my deathbed tomorrow, I can be like, you know what? At least I got 5 years of solid, healthy retirement under my belt. That's time where I worked on my terms. I had full control of my time, and I did things I enjoyed as opposed to things I was being forced to do. And I could get better at that. I'm still working on it. I want ultimately full financial freedom, which is hard to get. But financial freedom would free up my time because the income would come in, but it wouldn't require me selling my time, and that's the ultimate goal. A lot of people tell me not everyone can be entrepreneurs. Well, you don't have to. You have other options. The way I see it, there's only two paths to financial freedom. There is entrepreneurship, which can shackle you with giving up a lot of your time for your business. But then at some point you could sell the business and retire and do all of that. But that's a path to wealth. And the other path is to work for the man, but invest, become an investor, own businesses, either start your own business or own businesses. That is how people get to the 1%, and I say that and I'm in the bottom of the bottom right now. I wouldn't say that. I'm doing better in some areas than some people my age are doing. But that being said, I'm not looking that I'm going to be part of the 1% anytime soon because of mistakes I made earlier in life. And like I said, what if I only have 12 years left? What if I live up to the expectation that I'm going to die at age 62? What will I have accomplished? What legacy do I have? And how much of that time was enjoyed versus doing things I hate? I know that my health isn't going to last forever. I haven't taken good care of my health. Despite being a health channel for so many years, I eat like shit. I'm not gaining weight the way I used to. So I did, my 5 years of keto and fasting did fix some things that are taking a while to damage again. But that being said, I know my health's not going to last forever, and if my deathbed comes, I feel like I'll be able to say at least I captured some of my time on the way. I wish I had more, but at least I got some of that time. So don't throw your time away, I guess, is the moral of the story. Don't waste your time on things you don't enjoy, on things, if you have to give 70 hours a week to a corporation, make sure you're giving yourself an out later down the line. Because if you do that till you're in your 60s, with the hope of retiring, you put all your shit in your 401k and you work till 67 to get your full retirement benefits and your Social Security, which probably isn't going to be there when you get there. But, that being said, I'm sure we can print some money for you. if that's what you're working towards, you know, the greener pastures at the end of life, 9 times out of 10, it's not as green as you think, retirement. And also, you might not even make it. You know, I've got a lot of people that I've had in my life that are younger than me that didn't make it. And they were doing it. They were working the 60, 70-hour weeks in the 9 to 5, and they fucking died. And that's it. That was their life. They worked their ass off and they fucking died. You know, and I can at least say I'm not going to be doing that. I didn't work my ass off my whole life. I'm taking time to retire, you know, in quotes, for a little bit, and to do passion projects and to do things that are creative and leave a little bit of myself out here. I've got over 500 videos on this channel, you know. Hopefully they're still there when I'm gone, you know, and then a little piece of me will be will be sucked into the AI algorithm, and then, you know, who knows, maybe that's the afterlife. I don't know. You know, not looking to start a religious discussion either. That being said, time is valuable. Don't give it away, you know. Don't sell it for $15, you know, unless you're investing all of that to grow it without you working. And don't be there on your deathbed, or, you know, you get cancer or a heart attack or fucking stroke or what have you, and before you've finished your career and have retired. Don't let that be you. Take some time, you know. And it turns out I feel like, you know, this isn't financial advice. You got to keep saying that. If you do dumb shit because I told you to do it, you should probably evaluate your life there too. But if it were me, quitting your job every now and then and taking a year for yourself. In fact, when you're working, you should be working towards that as a goal. You know, I would say put away money, you know, in investments that grow, hopefully. You know, if it's a bear market, that's another story. But even then, that's the best time to get wealthy, is to invest in a bear market. But that being said, you know, if you work and you put your money into these investments and you grow them, which I should have done more of, then you can just say, well, I'm leaving for a year. You know, and then by the time you come back, you'll either, you know, depending on your career field or whatever, you'll probably get a pay raise coming back. You know, and then you'll have that year you took to yourself. You know, this is year 5. I think this is year 5 of me doing that. And I hope to make it a full year. That's the goal. Survive for a year with just the gig economy, my YouTube channel, and my crypto trading. Those are the 3 things I'm doing to eke by surviving. And it allows me things like, you know, seeing my girlfriend whenever I want, taking naps middle of the day, you know, doing whatever. So, and being there for friends that normally I'm not around for because I'm on the road. So I just, you know, I'm thinking a lot about that, about time, how much I have left, what I'm doing with it. Am I happy? That's a complicated question. I could be happier. You know, there's a few things that I spend time doing now that I want to change. I want to get rid of. And you know, you guessed it. I don't want to work in the gig economy. You know, I would much rather talk to you guys for a living, or, you know, do my passion projects with AI and my music, or, you know, something that, you know, doesn't have to make me wealthy, but it'd be nice to just survive doing that. I think that's what we all want. You know, I actually don't mind doing trading either, day trading. It can be rough. It can be emotional. It can, you know, fuck with you. But I'm getting the hang of it. I'm currently, for the year, I'm in double-digit profits, so I'm outperforming the S&P 500, which is a goal if you're a trader. You know, to do better than the market is, you know, usually a good sign. And if I continue to do that, it doesn't mean I can't wake up one day and all that whole fucking profit's erased, because that's a thing that can happen, especially if you're fucking with crypto. But it's nice that, you know, I wake up in the morning, I pop open my coffee, I take my trade positions for the day, I keep an eye on it here and there, and that's pretty much what I do. I take my position. If I lose my ass on a day trade, I turn it into a swing trade, and I dollar cost average, increase my positions, and then, as I know, as it often happens in a bull market, there'll be a big pop, and then I cash out and rinse and repeat. And that's my trading strategy. Look at that. It's not financial advice because guess what? I'm not a professional. I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just it's been years of fucking up with trading that is getting me to this point where I've found something that kind of works and I'm doing it. I'll elaborate more as I go. As it, if I do a successful full year of over 10% return, and that's working hard too for that 10%. I will say that there's an argument to be said for just dollar cost averaging your way into the market and, just forgetting about it. But that wouldn't allow me to take profits here and there, which I need to do to survive. So that being said, trading is going okay. It's not great. It's not perfect. I'm not getting rich, but it is helping me survive longer. And at the end of the day, I value my time right now at $50 an hour. And I can tell you the 0 days where I don't spend any money and I make money in the market, that averages out. Even when I'm doing these deliveries, I know I'm making more. For example, today, so far, I'm about halfway through my day of deliveries. And I've made another $50 trading. So I've already multiplied my hourly because that's just shit I've flicked. Oh, I look at my app and I'm like, hey, buy or hey, sell, it doesn't take a lot of time to do that. So it multiplied my time. I can do it while I'm working. So, think about that. Also, look into minimalism. I want to do a full update video on minimalism at some point in the near future. So stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel if you're interested in that, and ring the bell so that because YouTube won't always tell you when I post a video, and maybe you'll be around for that next minimalism video. But for the time being, think about time. What is your time? Like, sit down and just really break down how much of your time you waste. Maybe you do a lot of Netflix. I mean, if that brings you a lot of joy, I guess. But if you're just doing it because you don't got nothing fucking better to do and you're paying, whatever they're jacking the price up to per month for that, think of the time you spent having to earn that and then the amount of time you're giving Netflix as a corporation to, so on and so forth, especially since YouTube is free. You don't have to subscribe to it. But if you were to cancel your overpriced Netflix subscription, you could head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and support this channel so I can take less time delivering shit and making more content. Link is in the description. Head over to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and sign up as a premium member for just $10 a month. The more premium members I get, the less deliveries I have to do. Maybe this channel will be in the green and I can spend more time just making content. All right, plug's over. Also, well, no, not completely. Check out the AI Third Eye, my second channel, where I post my AI videos and my music, not all AI music. There is some AI music though that I wrote some lyrics for here and there. But that being said, check out my other channel. I'm trying to grow that as well, so I can have 2 channels to work on full time. Wouldn't that be great? We're working on it. I think that's a dream. I don't know that I'm going to be a full-time content creator anytime soon, but I'm putting time in now. So that must mean I really want it, because if someone who values their time at $50 an hour is putting time in for free to create content for all of you in the hopes of one day being able to do it full-time and survive, that's an investment, I think. I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in myself as a content creator. So while I don't get paid necessarily for that, hopefully sometime down the line it pays off, And then maybe I can retire more than a year. Who knows? You can still help out this channel by liking, subscribing, watching, telling your friends, sharing. If a video hits home, share it with somebody, and they might call you nuts for watching some dickhead with a beard. Is what it is there. And getting back to one last thing, since you made it this far in the video. I will say that there's a couple years in my life I wasted stressing about current events and politics. I have noticed some volatility in people right now because of who's in office. Mind you, I don't mind who's in office. But at the same time, I'm not sitting there hanging on everything and just raging about things I can't control, which I didn't for all the time that I had a president that I did not agree with policies I hated. I stopped watching the news on a regular basis. Every once in a while I'd hear something through social media and then maybe I'd go follow up to see if it's true. But for the most part, I do not spend a lot of time watching the news, watching current events, and I feel like all of the energy and anger and rage I put in the past, and you can go back to my past videos and you know what I'm talking about. I feel like that energy was wasted. I feel like I did not enjoy my time as much doing that. And just keeping an eye on the world and trying to take in all the bad things. Because let's face it, bad things have always happened. Always. Societies have fallen, wars have happened, all kinds of bad shit happens. But previous generations, there are people that were people in the world that could go their entire life and not know that bad shit was going on in the world and live a happier life for it. And that's kind of the philosophy I'm moving towards, And yeah, you can't bury your head in the sand because sooner or later something's going to come and, slap you around and say, oh, by the way, there's this. Obviously inflation and stuff like that. You just can't ignore. But you don't have a lot of control over it either. And it's a kind of a stoic philosophy to not allow things to affect you that you don't have any control over, I'm working on that still. There are still things that upset me in the political and current events sphere. I'm happy with the election, and I feel like a lot of people were, obviously, with the overwhelming victory that happened there. But I also know there's people who are just so vapidly angry and upset by it, and they're, ending friendships and yelling at people and calling people stupid and being just real assholes to people because they didn't get their way, and that's really what it is. It's a fucking tantrum, You didn't win the election. Your side didn't win. That doesn't mean everyone that voted that way is an asshole or not, or any of the isms or any of the bullshit that they like to tell you. And I think you'd find the world a better place if you didn't think about life in those terms. If you didn't put your political ideology ahead of your social, fellow people that are around you who all have different views, different experiences to go with those, different values. And, we need to get back to being able to get along, and if you do have a political discussion, to be able to do it without hate and vitriol coming into it. And I see a lot of vitriol right now from a few. It's not as bad as it has been in the past, from what I've witnessed. But, that is a waste of your time. You're miserable during it. You can't tell me you're happy when you're doing that. Because I wasn't happy when I was being super critical politically. So I've dialed that back a lot. Even I'm uncomfortable even commenting on this line of thinking, but it's not a political side I'm trying to take here. It's more of is that valuable to you? Is that helping, with all the political complaining I've seen over the years and nothing's really changed that much other than when you go out to vote, that's go out and vote, vote for what you believe in. But don't hate the person that didn't vote the same way as you, because you didn't live their life and they're not living your life. And you ain't got time for that shit anyway, you know? You want that to be your last 10 years of life, or 20 years, or 5 years, or a year? Because we don't know when. We don't know when that, our time is up. Which makes your time pretty valuable. Don't waste it on being a dick. All right. That's it. Please like and subscribe for more shit. And I'll make more shit. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit. I'm going to do a few more deliveries, just because I still have energy. Energy's hard to come by right now. I had some kind of bug that made me heavily fatigued. So I'm having to plow through it. To work. I'm immune to coffee fatigue. Anyways, have a nice motherfucking day and shit. And let's reclaim our time. And I may not be political, but I still fucking hate corporate America.